Hello, it's Randi Rhodes. Here's a clip from our show, and go to randyrhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.
Mary had a little man.
The fault. We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream. Change has come to America.
Believe me.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show. Turn up
So
your
Iran
mind.
can be taken. I would never take the military card off the table. And it's possible that it'll have to be used because Iran cannot have nuclear weapons. But you've got to exhaust other possibilities. And we're in a great position to do it. They know, or they at least must know, that they're in a little bit of heat because there's a lot of pressure to attack. This is a great time to negotiate. Unfortunately, we have a president that doesn't know the first thing about negotiation. We have a real problem in the White House. So I believe that he will attack Iran sometime prior to the election because he thinks that's the only way he can get elected. Isn't it pathetic?
Wow, that is such projection. It's so pathetic, and it's so scary, and it's so ill-conceived, and it's so dangerous. And, obviously, it was the time for negotiation, and we did negotiate, and we got a nuclear non-proliferation agreement. We did get that. And when Iran agreed to stop enriching and to move all of the enriched fuel out of their country, which they did, the entire world delivered all the frozen assets that Iran had frozen around the world by NATO allies, by us, by Germany, by Britain, by France, by our NATO allies, and delivered them their money. And they agreed, and the only people that pulled out of that deal, the only ones, after all of this painstaking negotiation had occurred to pull out of a nuclear non-proliferation agreement, was Donald Trump. I'm telling you, this man projects, oh, he can't negotiate. We got a president. I'm the best negotiator. I'm the best negotiator. We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens with Iran. If they do anything, it will be a very bad mistake if they do anything. I'm hearing little stories about Iran.
How could he be hearing little stories about Iran? How is that possible that he's hearing little stories about Iran? That is sick. Okay, there's something wrong with this man. The idea that he can't manage a trade deal, there's reports now on the TV about farmers committing suicide. It's just horrendous. That he's going to be able to manage a war. He can't manage the White House. Everyone quits. Everyone walks out the door. He asks everyone to lie. He asks everybody to cover up his bad behavior, his mistakes, his anti-constitutional instincts, and they leave. They quit. They just quit. Well, here's another old clip. Here's a great flashback. You're going to love this one. This is from 2012, okay? This was right before the election. And Trump was still accusing Barack Obama of being a lousy negotiator and saying that he would declare war in Iran to secure a second term, because he was such a suck-ass negotiator. They were so bad, Obama and Kerry. They just suck so hard. And so here's Sean Hannity saying, I just spoke to Donald Trump. This is 2012, okay? This is even before he went to Russia. This is before the Miss Universe pageant in Moscow. This is how old this, shill Hannity has been talking to this reality TV star.
Here's the question, and I talked to Donald Trump today.
See?
He believes that close to the election, that Barack Obama would start something, and the nation would rally behind him, and that's how they'll look for victory.
Sean, Barack Obama, as we said in the break, is a great politician, a poor administrator.
You believe he'd do that? You believe
this man would do anything? He's Machiavellian. He'd do anything to win re-election.
You agree with that, Senator?
Him.
Absolutely. I am very fearful that he will do that, and it will rally the nation, because there is such a great, number one, fear and anger as it relates to Iran and what they've been doing, that the American people would rally around him.
So wait a minute. So he would ignore Iran, which just last week threatened, it said to the United States, if we don't move our ships out of the Straits of Hormuz, they're going to blow them out of the water, that they're plotting assassinations on U.S. soil of foreign dignitaries. He does nothing up to that point. But if he does something in September, would that not cause reason for real cynicism?
Here's a guy who has launched 300 drone attacks against al-Qaeda.
And
George Bush did 50.
Okay.
He has fought a very aggressive war.
He's been very hostile to Israel.
For you to accuse him of going to war for political reasons is shameful.
I didn't accuse him of that. I asked a question.
Well, Angela and the senator did.
And I'm not ashamed of doing it, because look at this man's record.
I wouldn't put it past him.
Oh, my God. Alphonse D'Amato, what the hell is wrong with you? That was Sean Hannity's show in 2012 accusing Barack Obama of doing a political war against Iran to turn the Middle East into a burning desert, okay? Just set it on fire, which is what would happen, for political reasons, because he just spoke to Donald Trump. Now, Donald Trump is probably facing one of the worst scenarios for an incumbent president. He can't get above 45, 46% support in this country. He's under investigation 8 ways to Sunday. States are investigating his foundation. New York State's investigating his organization, his charity. You got subpoenas flying. His son needs to, appear again in front of the Senate, Republican Senate Intelligence Committee, because they believe he lied to them. You have a president who is under siege. He's under attack by constitutional scholars across this nation who say that his blanket refusal to comply with any congressional subpoena is an affront to the Constitution. You got a Supreme Court that's probably going to weigh in and agree with that. And he's going to have to run for re-election in that climate. And all of a sudden, we're getting plans to deploy 120,000 troops to the freaking Middle East. After we now know that he actually thinks that way. We know it because there he is saying it. Freaky. All right, Laura in California.
Hey, Randy.
Hey, Laura.
I don't know how you do this every day. I'm about ready to have an anxiety attack. There's just so much going on. I don't know what.
Well, that's another thing. That's another thing.
History, repeat it.
Well, you know what? See, that's another good point. And the point here is that they throw so much crap at the fan, right? And that even the amount of crap that they throw into the fan, then, it breaks up and it turns into a million pieces of crap. And everybody is overwhelmed with all of these things that are really happening to them. Like the farmers are committing suicide. It's unbelievable. You have all these states passing these heartbeat bills, right?
Yep.
You have an attack on, immigrants at the border. You got kids now sleeping, burying themselves in dirt to keep warm, okay? Dirt and rocks to keep warm in Mylar blankets. You have all kinds of, like 9/11, you have like all kinds of 9-alarm fires burning all across the United States with, floods and no disaster relief. And the Senate hasn't passed one single piece of legislation, right? And everybody is just so overwhelmed. And that's how he governs, in chaos. Yep. It's all chaotic.
Don't you kind of see, too, that whole thing that just happened with those Saudi oil tankers is a repeat of the Bay of Tonkin in Vietnam?
Yeah, the Gulf of Tonkin.
They're setting up the thing because people are forgetting that Saudi Arabia, which trumps up their what so far, is a separate sect from the Iranians. They're different sides of the Islamic religion, and they don't like each other, so it's going to benefit them too.
They don't like each other. They hate each other because this is like in the blood, okay? This is their deep, deep divide, Sunni and Shia. And Iran obviously is Shia, and Wahhabist Islam, which is the most radical form of Islam, the Sunni form of Islam, is Saudi's national religion. Now, one of the fights that they're having is who's going to be the Vatican of Islam, right? And so for them, they have to, they will fight to the death. So Saudi wants, Islam to be Wahhabist Sunni, and Iran wants it to be Shia, and they're fighting over who's going to, get the title. They're also fighting each other. There's a proxy war where Saudi is against Iran in Yemen. That's why when the Senate and the House passed a piece of legislation saying that we ought to get the hell out of Yemen, the president vetoed it. He's doing that for the Saudis, okay? We're going to fight another freaking war for the Saudis. And what's crazy is on 9/11, the people, the human beings that attacked us, that flew those planes, all 4 of them, 15.
Were Saudis.
Yes. They were Saudis, for God's sake. And we attacked Iraq? I mean, this is the sickest foreign policy, and it's the same damn people. It's the John Boltons. It's all these, Council on Foreign Relations. Yeah, it's these neocons, and Trump likes, I don't know, I guess they're selling it to him about, do you know what kind of power a wartime president gets? And I'm only half kidding when I say Trump Tower, Tehran. I'm only half kidding. I mean, he's got Trump Tower in Azerbaijan. Go look at the map. Go see where Azerbaijan is. There's also a proxy war going on with Russia and Iran in Syria. So, yeah, the Saudis killed an American journalist who wrote for the Washington Post, and we defend them. Sick. Go to RandiRhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.